Thank you. Coach, we'll go ahead and start with an opening statement from you, and then we'll move on to questions.
Well, I think the big focus for us this week was to improve. We obviously had a lot of things that coming off the second scrimmage that we had penciled in that we needed to do better. Still some situations that we need to cover. This is kind of hump week for the players in a lot of ways, but I think we need to do everything better. I think we got to have a little bit of better focus and intensity in practice. I think we need to not get sloppy in terms of the fundamental techniques that we've been working on for a long time so that we could actually go to a game and play the way we need to play so that we can have success individually and collectively, as a group and as units. So I think everything needs to improve. We need to improve the technique. We need to improve the look we get from the other team. We need to improve the way we practice, how fast, how we finish plays. So we need to improve a lot of things. We did start a little bit today on getting ready for the first game. We'll continue to do that tomorrow. I think that's something that the players have to get in their sights, that we have a game coming up. We're not just practicing to practice, and they've got to change their mindset. And with that changes, sense of urgency, immediacy, playing smart, getting things in meetings and be able to take it to the field, and getting your mind right so that you're ready to compete and play a game. One of the things that we've done here internally that I'll share with you is we are doing daily testing, with our players. We just thought that, gives the players a better peace of mind. It's the best thing for the players. It's the best thing for the program. We have the capabilities and resources to do it, so we're happy to do it. We've been testing 3 days a week, which we didn't have to do that either, just like we would for a game week next week, but we just decided this week that we would go, test our guys every day. And, with that, hopefully, everybody feels safe, and that it will help the fact that we won't have to be able to, maybe quarantine some of these guys, minimize exposures. Everybody's got to, sort of manage their personal space so that, we have the most players possible available for every game, but especially the first game.
Okay, we'll get started with Charlie Potter.
Hey, Coach, just want to ask about Jordan Battle and how you've seen him progress, not only as a player from last year, but also kind of step it up into more of a leadership role.
Jordan's done a really good job. He's played well, had a really good last scrimmage. I think he was a leading, had the most point production of anybody on defense. Made a lot of plays, caused a fumble, recovered a fumble, tackled well in the game, played physical, didn't make a lot of mental errors. He's sort of playing with a lot of confidence now, and has improved. I think his sort of attention to detail and doing little things right and being able to make adjustments and make calls in the secondary, and he's doing it with a lot of confidence, which I think, helps the other players play better as well.
Okay, we'll go to Michael Casagrande.
Yeah, I saw that just a little bit ago. Missouri's coach announced that 12 players would be out of the game against Alabama in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks now. Do you guys plan on making any kind of announcements or public pronouncements about players, just the numbers of availability for the games?
Not really, not yet, because we really don't have anybody that I know would be out for sure for the game. We may have some injured players who may not recover enough to be able to play in the game. We haven't really discussed it. I'm sure when we get into game week and we figure out exactly who can and who can't, we'll kind of let you know. But we don't really. I could give you a number, but I don't know what 12 players Missouri has out, so I don't know how that affects what we do. And we want to certainly focus on what we need to do, play well in the game, and get the players who are capable of playing ready to play.
Okay, we'll go to Aaron Suttles.
Nick, you've talked about players sort of buying in so that they can create value for themselves within the framework of a team. I wonder how much of your roster do you think is bought into that concept, and is it where you want it to be?
I think a lot of the older guys really get it. I think it's a work in progress with younger guys. They have a lot of expectations when they come in. But, these guys are starting to realize, how do you get evaluated for the next level? They think it's just how they play in a game. All right, but we have people here watching practice all the time. We have people that watch practice tape of the days that they aren't here. And things are being evaluated, not only their performance, how their teammates respond, to them making a good play, how they respond to it. I mean, there's so many things that go into evaluation that players need to understand because everybody wants somebody who's dependable and responsible to be on their roster and on their team. So it's just not about your ability. It's just not about measurables. It's about a competitive character. It's about who you are as a person. It's about what you do. I mean, we just had some NFL guy, talk to our team and told all the freshmen, the NFL is already monitoring your Twitter. All right, so when you post, they're making some kind of judgment about what you post and what you do. So all these things are things that players need to be aware of. So if they don't buy in it for the team's sake, they should buy into it for their own sake.
Okay, we'll go to Chris Walsh next.
You mentioned in the spring that the Sports Science Center might be would be a big advantage. Do you already see a difference, or is it more of a long-term thing?
Oh, I think it's a long-term thing. I think that it's helping players. I don't think this has been the same kind of year where you have practice every day in fall camp and recovery and those kind of things become really, really significant in a player's ability to go out there and perform on a daily basis. So it's been a little different from that standpoint, but I still think that our players can benefit from a recovery standpoint, from a physical rehab standpoint, because of the great facilities that we have. But I think every individual player is different, and every injury is different, and everybody's ability to recover is a little bit different. And I think our medical staff and our strength and conditioning people do a great job of trying to get those players to do what they need to do individually so that they can sustain, they can perform, they can stay injury-free. I think that it's all going to be a long-term positive for us.
Okay, we'll go to Cecil Hurt next. Go ahead, Cecil.
Coach, the Big Ten announced this morning that they would try to play at least a conference-only shortened season. Do you have any reaction to their decision to go ahead and try to play after they earlier said that they were?
Well, I think from a player's perspective, players want to play. I think most of their players probably want to have the opportunity to play. If they don't feel safe playing, they have the option to opt out. So I think it's good for the players who want to play, and I'm sort of happy for the players. I was disappointed for any player who didn't get the opportunity to play this year, who wanted to play, wanted to compete, wanted to create value for himself. So at least they're going to have some opportunity to do that.
Okay, we got time for a couple more. We'll start with Tony Sakalas.
Yeah, Coach, I just wanted to know what do you think that Emil Ekiyor adds to the offensive line, and what have you seen from him this offseason?
Yeah, Emil has played really, really well. He's had a really good, camp. He's, lost weight. He's in really good shape. He's got very good power. He's very smart as a player. He can play multiple positions, center and guard. So he certainly, we feel that, we look at him as a starter. And he can start multiple positions for us, and he'll get a lot of playing time for sure. Although when I say a starter, I think we have probably maybe 7 guys that I look at as starters. So, only 5 of them can play at once, but he's certainly one of those guys.
Okay, and we'll finish up with Kirk Mcnair. Kirk, go ahead and unmute.
Yes, Coach. Kind of staying with. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I could hear you. I can't hear you now.
Kirk, we've lost you. We'll catch you next time. We're gonna go back to James Ogletree.
Coach, a two-parter, if I may. First, I wanted to ask you about the status of Christian Barmore's knee injury that you mentioned, I believe, on Saturday. And then with Mac, with the opportunity that he has to step up and be the guy this year, what improvements have you seen in his game, and how have you seen him continue to win the team as he started to last year?
Yeah. Well, Christian Barmore is doing very, very well. We're hopeful that, by Monday of next week, he'll be able to do some things in practice. You never know for sure exactly how a guy's going to progress, but at least that's, the prognosis for right now. It's probably too early to tell whether he will be ready to play in the first game or not. We'll just have to see how he progresses. Mac has done very nicely, had a very good scrimmage on Saturday. I think when Mac stays in himself and, is concerned about doing what he's supposed to do and executes and does the things that he's coached to do, he is very, very effective. And when he stays focused on the play, doesn't get upset about what happened on the play before, he is very, very effective. And he has shown an ability to do that much better, this year. I think it's a sign of maturity and understanding what he has to do to play winning football at his position.
Okay, Coach, we're going to try to go back to Kirk real quick and see if we've got him. This will be the last question. Kirk, go ahead.
Yes, Coach. I want to go back to the offensive line, and something that you had said about collectively and individually. You have quite a few people back. You say you've got 7 people you consider starters. So I wonder, in this period, what have you been doing, moving people around, that sort of thing, to get the best 5 together, I guess?
Well, we have 2 tackles, and then we move guys periodically from inside to outside, which would be Chris Owens, play some tackle at times. We're trying to develop some young players at tackle. And, we play multiple people at center. Darian Dalcourt has done a nice job at center. So sometimes, we'll play the center at guard, and sometimes we haven't played Emo at center a lot lately. He's played mostly guard. So every day, we kind of mix and match, some things, but, we probably are a little better depth-wise inside than out. So I think it's really important that we develop some people who can play winning football at tackle for us as we go down the road.
All right, Coach. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.